Alright, so I'm going to explain how I got the GDB-Multiarch debugger working with mGBA on Windows. We're going to use WSL for this. I'm not going to explain how to install WSL, sorry, but I'm sure you can figure it out. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go open a command prompt, so search cmd, open the command prompt. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to install Ubuntu for WSL. So WSL install Ubuntu 24.04, and I need to actually say install with two L's. Okay, it's going to download Ubuntu. Really, the Ubuntu version doesn't matter. You can use whichever one you want, technically. Like, it'll probably be fine. I'm just using 24.04 because it's recent and it's, stable. Okay, it's almost done downloading. Then it's going to ask you to make an account, I believe. Yep, okay, so put in the password. Okay, so it actually launches into the Ubuntu VM. It's not technically a VM, but whatever. If you ever want to go back to this, you can go to command prompt, and then you can do WSL to list your VMs. You can go -L, and then you can see the names of them, and then from there you can remote into whichever one you want. So WSL-D, Ubuntu 24.04 will drop you in that VM. So anyways, from here we need to update our system packages. So sudo apt update, put in that password you just made. Alright, and then we're going to install Multiarch. So sudo apt install GDB GDB-Multiarch. Okay, sudo apt install GDB-Multiarch. Okay, continue. Type Y. Okay, so then we're going to launch GDB-Multiarch. Okay, now we're in GDB. So there's a few considerations from here. First, you're going to want to launch a mGBA. You're gonna want to open up your ROM. Go to Tools, Start GDB Server. You're gonna want this address to be 0.0.0.0. This means you're broadcasting. This means that you're not just binding to localhost. You're using the actual LAN IP, and you'll see why we need to do this in a second. So make sure it says 0.0.0.0. Okay, start the server. This will stop execution. This is normal. This kind of freaked me out the first time I saw this, but it's normal. So here's the thing. This Ubuntu box is not actually on the same LAN IP as your computer, so its localhost isn't even the same. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get the IP address that your Windows session is actually on. So we're going to go cmd again, and we're going to type ipconfig, and then you should only have two adapters. This is WSL, this is your Windows, and then we're going to go under IPv4 address. We're going to copy this address. Okay, and then we're going to connect to the GDB session. So it's going to be target remote. We're going to paste that address, and then we're going to get the port that we're hosting the GDB server on. So 2345. We're going to put a colon 2345. Okay, you should see something like this with like a RAM or ROM address and like this weird stuff. This is actually what you want to see. This means it connected correctly. And we can verify this because if you type in continue, it'll continue executing. You can press Control-C to stop the execution. So here's the thing. We're not actually done yet, because if we do info registers, These aren't ARM registers. This isn't ARM assembly. Or, I mean, yeah, of course it's not ARM assembly, but these aren't like the Game Boy Advance registers. So, what we want to do is we want to set the architecture correctly. So if you do set architecture, then you put in tab, display all the possibilities. You see all these different architectures. This is why we want multi-arch, because it's got a lot of these. In the case of the Game Boy Advance, the architecture we want is ARM v4t. You're going to want to set this to whatever system you want. I believe this works for Game Boy Advance or Nintendo DS. So type set architecture ARM v4t. Okay. And now if we do info registers, these are the actual registers that the Game Boy Advance would be using. So that's basically it. Now we can just do whatever debugging we want. So we can do like step I, and then, you know, takes forever, but it works. And then we can do info registers, and the values changed. Wow, crazy, insane. Yeah, guys. Okay. Yeah, that's basically it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just put them in the comments, and I'll try to answer. So yeah, thanks.